This is a collection of stories.
Landover Legend Studios presents
I've been through a lot.
the I Can't Make This Up podcast. By Big T.
Hold on. Don't talk over me. Don't talk over me. Don't talk over me. What you're not gonna do is talk over me, okay? Now, how tall are you?
5'2".
Okay, and dick size.
3
All
inches.
right, credit score. Okay, and how much money was in your account the last time you checked it?
$25.
Okay, are you a homeowner?
I stay with my
Okay,
mom.
so who the fuck are you to ask for a bad bitch?
I just can't.
A crazy story about our lives.
Okay, sounds good. I love it.
Yeah, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the presence of royalty. She is not the average guest. We have a star in our presence. This young lady right here has a giggle that'll tickle your soul, a very bright smile, and once you hear her speak, it's only going to take 5 minutes. So you want to figure out where can I get more of this. Uh,
That's so sweet. Thank you.
well, I try. Here at Landover Legend Studios, we make sure that we give people their flowers ahead of time before they, reach the pinnacle. And don't forget us when you get up top. You know what I'm saying? Just reach down and hand me like, $20 or something like that. I'd
I
appreciate
got you. Of course.
it. But like I was saying. This young lady right here, very informative. She's the queen of no cap. She is AKA Kendra Samuels, AKA Coffee with Kendra. Give it up, everybody.
Great intro.
I try, I try to switch it up a little bit. So um every intro is unique in its own little way, but I got a bright star in the podcast game taking over slowly but surely. And you got a very, stern presence. When people hear your name, they be like, "Oh yeah, Kendra, that's my girl. Kendra, she real. She's the queen of no cap."
Oh,
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to my audience?
Hey everybody, I'm Kendra. I am the host of Coffee with Kendra, and most of you guys know me from Instagram. That's pretty much where my presence is. Yeah, in my podcast that drops very inconsistently, but it does drop. I'm gonna be honest. It definitely drops, but yeah.
Okay, okay. So, after doing a little research for you, on you, I figured out
Uh-oh.
that you're a fitness coach who focuses on nutrition, right?
Yes, that's very true.
Okay.
Good stuff. I'm always flattered when I get on a podcast and they done they research on me. So kudos to you, because some people just get me on a podcast. I mean, but it's always cool to know that the person like took the time out to like, learn a bit more about you before like slapping you on a podcast. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I am a weight loss coach, and my focus is nutrition focused. So it's nutrition based. And I have been doing that for I think coming up on a little over 2 years now, maybe like 2.5 years now.
Mhm.
Yeah, so and that kind of started through my own weight loss journey. So I mean, I won't tell like the full story, the long story, but had put on some extra pounds, and I was unhappy with the way that I wasn't happy with the way that I looked or felt, like, like just going up the stairs, and just how, life, like just carrying my own body had became uncomfortable for me. So then I just kind of like went on a diet, like we all do, right? We go on a diet, and I'm like, I need to lose some weight and blah blah blah, and it was difficult. But what I learned was when I started changing my diet, like my eating habits altogether, not only did, my physique change, like my body changed, but my like I felt different. So like I felt better. I'm like, damn, like it occurred to me that, fruits and vegetables actually made you feel good. So like I was more energized. Like I didn't have like indigestion all the time. I didn't feel like tired. I had more and then not only that, but like it got me to a place where I was like really in love with my body. So and I'm the type of person like I know this might catch people by surprise, but like I'm a really a researcher. Like so I don't really like take things by the headline, so to speak. Like, if I'm interested in it, it sparks a thought, I'll go and research it. So, when I got started, making myself more healthy, I started doing my own research into like how a lot of uh diseases and illnesses, especially in the Black community, are they're triggered more by our diet than we think they are. So that's when I kind of got on this whole like I just became more passionate about it. Like, what, let me spread the word of this. Let me get on the bandwagon. How can I help everybody else get to this level? Because I think, we just look at it as a physical thing, like, oh, I need to, get in shape, but it's way more into it than just being physically fit or in shape. So yeah, that's how that came about.
That's what's up. Did you get inspired by somebody, or were you like self-taught and that's how you became an actual trainer?
Well, I'm not a trainer,
Oh,
but
coach. I'm sorry.
yeah, I'm not a trainer, but I started working for a company first, and then I started doing it on my own aside from the company. But no, I was certified by a company to be a weight loss trainer. I mean, a weight loss coach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. So you took the game and ran with it yourself.
I did. I definitely did. Um Yeah. That's actually, and it's very rewarding in itself to like see when other people get on game and they come and tell you, how they have their family and they're like, I'm feeding my husband zucchini now. He never ate that. And like my type 2, I don't really have type 2. Like they really like can stop taking medication from doing type 2. Blood pressure is lowered. Like that's like that's more rewarding than the paycheck, really, is to know that I'm able to like not only change your life, but I'm changing your family life, because everything that I teach you, you go home, and you share with the family.
Was it difficult at first?
To
Uh,
start.
yeah, to like become a trainer. Like, I mean, because you obviously had the passion for it. So, was it like hard to, get the ball rolling?
You know what was hard for me? The fact that I'm already small. So by the time I had started coaching, I was already in shape. So they didn't see me when I was overweight. And I wasn't overweight, honestly. When it comes, I feel like sometimes my clients would judge me because even when I tell them how much weight I lost, it wasn't enough for them to be like care. It's like, well, that ain't nothing, but what's something that we don't understand also is like I'm 4'11", so an extra 30 pounds on me, is going to look differently on me than it is somebody that's maybe like 5'9", right?
Mm.
So I try to explain that to them. So it was hard. At first it was hard for me to overcome the fact that they didn't want to take me serious because I was already small. So I think that was my biggest challenge, is trying to like speak to, start the conversation with women and for them to become comfortable with me when I'm not overweight, or wasn't overweight enough for them.
Okay. Well, I'm always seeing you posting videos you like on the stroll, walking and taking care of yourself. So you bought that gym life, I see.
Yes. Yes, I am.
Okay. So, I mean, I know you're also a mom and you got several things going on. I'm assuming that, due to your new vitality, you gave yourself that extra energy from taking care of yourself.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That definitely comes. A lot of that comes down to that. Like I say this all the time, but like when you start taking care of your body, your outlook on life and a lot of other things change.
Yeah, you're right about that. I remember when I mean, I'm not small. I used to be bigger, and that was a problem. I used to be like 429,
Oh
and
yeah.
yeah, but that's the thing about it. Because of my height, I never felt that big. It wasn't until the doctor said something. He was like, "Man, you like 60 pounds overweight for your height," and I was like, "How much?" And he told me. I was like, "Oh,
Mm.
oh, that's bad." So I started going hard dieting, hitting the gym every other day, jogging 2 miles on the other day. I got down to 215, and I think that took like 11 months, something like that. But I was also doing security work part time, and these big girls got to fighting, right? And I couldn't get them off each other, and I was like, I gotta stop losing weight because I can't do my job if I can't even move these girls, So
Right.
so
Right.
I had to stop burning fat and start putting on muscle. But then I ended up meeting this girl from North Carolina that cooked everything from scratch, and all that went out the window. So here we are.
Mm. Ooh, talk about it. That's a real thing. When you live in a lifestyle and your significant other is not living a lifestyle, that's a bigger thing than I think people realize. But I think you have to be on my spectrum of things to understand. Like if you like really if you really live by like a strict diet, and I don't even want to say strict diet because it's really a different lifestyle than I was accustomed to previously, right? So it's not that like I don't feel like I'm on a strict diet anymore. Like this is like the way that I really eat now. And when the person that you're with is not on that same wavelength, it's always, I mean, for me, I found it to be problematic that, like you want to I eat fried chicken, but we can't do that every week. So if you eating fried chicken and lots of fried foods and processed foods all the time, that was a problem for me in a relationship, really.
So how often do you treat yourself with like some fried chicken?
Honestly, I'm at the place where I can do it whenever I feel like it. But I guess to answer your question, maybe once a month, maybe it depends on how much I'm craving it. But see, the thing is, once you stop eating those type of foods, you actually stop craving it. So it's
Hmm.
very rarely that I actually crave those kind of foods anymore. And trust me, this took a minute. This took about 3 years before those cravings subsided. But like now I don't really have the cravings for those foods.
Yeah, when I stopped eating fast food and stuff, and I tried like some McDonald's, months down the line, my body couldn't handle it. So
Yeah, like you don't even enjoy it anymore.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's never the same once you basically change, your entire body, your system and everything. So
Yes.
people don't
Mhm.
people don't get that, especially if they got like an addictive personality, or that's all they know. If they don't have
Yeah.
anybody in their corner to show them, hey, it's a different way to live, and you ain't gotta, you know,
Yeah.
eat, fried food or noodles or whatever. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So, do you ever try the keto diet?
I have. That was one of the first diets I tried when I first started dieting. And it was fun at first because it was like, I can eat meat and cheese, and I'm down for that. Minimum vegetables, no fruit, we good. Um, and I don't know how many pounds I lost, maybe like 5 pounds because I only did it for maybe 2 weeks. But it was just for me, it was way more difficult than I thought it was. Because you go through this first, you go through a phase when you first start where you just craving sweets like crazy. And there's not that many sweets that you can have because there's no sugar, like sugar is carbs. And even fruit, you couldn't have fruit because it was carbs. The only fruit you can have on keto is like strawberries because for whatever reason, it's very, very low in carbs, almost none.
Mm-hmm.
um, and so it was more difficult than I thought it was because it's like it sound good, but then it's like, okay, well, I'm tired of bacon and eggs, and I'm tired of just ground beef and cheese on it. Like, like this is not creative at all. Um, I was craving stuff like pancakes, stuff that you just eat on a regular that you couldn't eat. And then I would try to, like, everything has to be made from scratch. Like making keto pancakes is crazy, like making it out of like cream cheese. It was more hassle than I thought it would be. And while I lost a couple pounds, ultimately I felt like that's not a sustainable lifestyle for me anyway. I think it's cool for, like, if you want to like try it and maybe jumpstart a diet. I think sometimes, depending on where you are, that jumpstart and that vast weight loss can be encouraging for you. But I don't think it's like anybody that say they living on keto, I would challenge to watch them all day for a week, because that's not a lifestyle.
Okay. So do you make a lot of things from scratch, or do you ever try like what's that, Hello Fresh or something like that? Like one of those prep meals or whatever?
I've tried HelloFresh in the past, and I tried it whenever they gave me like a week trial or something. But it was like, it's good if you don't have time to like go out and get all the ingredients, or you're bad at like measuring how much food you need or whatever. I thought it was kind of pricey, but if that fits your lifestyle, will work. But I make a lot of stuff from scratch, and when I say scratch, I don't make a lot of dishes anymore. So like I just pick, when I say dishes, like I don't do casseroles, like I don't do like you know any food that takes like over an hour to like get all the seeds, get everything together. I don't make. Like, a lot of my food is very quick because I choose whatever protein I'm going to use and I pair that with vegetables. The biggest meals that I make is like tacos. Um, I do make spaghetti, but it'll be like whatever spaghetti that choose to use. Sometimes I'll do like the chickpea spaghetti, but sometimes I just use regular spaghetti, and I just I cook vegetables. I'll just call it a vegetable spaghetti, and I'll put a bunch of vegetables in it, the pasta salad, I mean the pasta, spaghetti sauce, and
Hmm.
that's it. So it's like, my food is like way quicker now than it used to be. Like fried chicken takes a minute, like the enchiladas take a minute. All of those dishes, I don't really do that. I literally decide, okay, I'm gonna have chicken, and I'm gonna have vegetables. And sometimes I don't even have to have like a protein like that. I don't have to have like a fish or a chicken. I'll just eat some vegetables together. Like, and people always be like, are you vegan? I'll be like, no, I'm not vegan. But it's just weird. It's like, and I go off my body, like my body is not craving that, then I just don't eat it. Like, there's been a couple months where I didn't eat any meat or any fish or anything just because I didn't want it. Like, I didn't crave it at all. So it's weird. But yeah, those are my meals go.
Okay. So what do you do on the holidays, like Thanksgiving and Christmas?
Oh, first of all, I hate that food. Even before
Mm.
I became with a weight loss coach, I'm gonna ask you too. Y'all don't get tired of that shit 2 times a year. Like, you gotta eat mac and cheese, greens, collard greens. Then you got the ham, the sweet ass ham. Like, y'all don't get tired of that. The what's the other thing called? The stuffing. Like, y'all don't get tired like that. I don't look forward to that at all. Um So no, I do those, but like, and then my family is weird. Like, they're not very like, they have ventured off more to do other stuff. Like, so we'll do like, I think one time we did Mexican food, one time we did Italian food, one time we did, like, I think we did Asian food, but we always switch it up. But if you asking about like how I incorporate my lifestyle in it, they can't stand me because I tell them right off the way, I'm not eating this. So like, y'all making all this food, I'm not even gonna eat it. And so now they're like, well, you can make like a vegetable dish, because when I cook, they actually like the healthy food that I make. So it's not like this. They always like, damn, I didn't know vegetables could taste this damn good. So like, I'll come and I'm usually part of the cooker. I quit the last 2 years. I quit on them. No, I said, I'm not cooking this year. Nothing. They're like, you can make healthy food. No, I don't want to make nothing. I don't want to be bothered with this. But I'll just come and make like a healthy dish, like some vegetables or something, and I'll bring that to them. So I'm always like bringing or like getting them to like try something healthy that I'll bring. And to me, since I don't care about the food, it's not a big deal. I'll just come and eat whatever it is that I made, or I'll like eat before or whatever. So that's how I work, because especially for Thanksgiving, I think that we spend too much time. This is the health coach in me. Like, we spend too much time concerned with the food than the actual holiday. So like Thanksgiving, I'm all like, well, let's do something that shows that we're thankful, and because I don't give a damn about this food, and we need to stop making the focus be on the food in the first place. So that's where my head be. But like I said, even before I was here, I was already tired of that food.
I feel you to a degree. I grew up with a family that did that, soul food, but I never ate it, like greens, macaroni and cheese, ham and stuff. Like I was real picky as a kid, so they used to like cook me some chicken and cornbread or something, and that was it. That was all I got. So, you know, I
Chicken and
I
cornbread.
yeah, so I didn't eat it because I didn't like it. If I liked it, I probably would have ate it. Like you probably look at me and say, "Yeah, right," but nah, it's true. Like people don't like when I come over their house. Like when I was younger, I'd be like, I think I'll just take some chicken. That's all you gonna eat? Yeah, that's all I can eat because I don't eat the rest of this stuff. And they be like, you lying? You just being rude. You don't like my cooking? Like, nah, I got witnesses. I got.
Yeah.
But
My favorite parts was the mac and cheese in the ham, but that's when I was younger. By the time I became an adult, I was over the shits. Here and there, I would eat some mac and cheese and I would make it. But by the time I was an adult, I'm like, come on, we doing this for decades? Like, I don't want this.
you was tired of it. You
Yeah.
just like I put enough in my body. I'm good for the rest of my life,
And then
basically.
I never understood, why do we wait for those holidays? If y'all love mac and cheese, greens, collard greens, and ham, why y'all don't make that shit during the year? Why do y'all wait for Thanksgiving and Christmas to eat that? That's what made it annoying for me. I don't know. I'm weird.
I mean, but I've seen people make macaroni cheese throughout the year and collard greens too. Not really
Yeah, like
ham
on
though.
Easter. Yeah, like on Easter. I don't know. I can't associate food with a holiday. I guess that's a me thing, though. I understand.
Okay. I trust me. I feel you. For me, it ain't no big whoop. I'm the type of person that I'll throw like some wings in the oven or something like that, or a PB and J. Judge me if
Mm.
you want, but whatever. Peanut butter and jelly and some Doritos is a meal.
Mm. Okay.
See, you gave me that look like everybody else. I thought you was different, Kendra.
No, I didn't say nothing. You said you was different, but okay.
So, Um, Coffee with Kendra. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that came about after being featured on X amount of shows, and they kind of put pressure on you a little bit. Like, you know what? I guess I should go ahead and start.
Yeah, you done your research. That's exactly how it started. Ooh, good stuff. You definitely did your research. That's exactly how it started. And it started out more like a hobby, something I like to do in my spare time. To like, now it's more than spare time, but I feel like it's still a hobby. I can't get behind this mic and say I'm passionate about this yet. And that's something that I've been struggling with lately, because I
Mm,
kind of I kind of feel like the people who like support me heavy be like, you need to decide whether this is your passion or not, because you have to move in a certain way. Like, for example, the show that I did today, it was a touchy topic. And, when if you don't use your word choice right, you can get canceled.
mm-hmm.
And so like, they're like, well, if you want this to be a thing, you gonna have to be a little bit more, censored with your words. And I'm like, I don't care. So, and so it's like, I can see this being a thing, but I can't. I guess since like, I'm in a place where I'm struggling to feel like, is this a passion, or is this something that I just enjoy doing? Like, I feel like it's something that I enjoy doing. But I think that I guess my real big supporters feel like, you know, even if I feel like this is something I do in my spare time or it's just for fun, they see where it could be if I was passionate about it.
So you feel pressured from people, I guess, not really egging you on, but kind of motivate you to be the best, version of
Yeah,
you.
I definitely do. And I'm not mad about it at all, because it's nice to have some people in your corner that believe in you even when you don't believe in you. And I'm not saying I don't believe in me, but they're just like, you know, if this was your passion, you would there's so many other places and levels you can go with this. But so I guess, you know, they see me going beyond where I am, but I don't see it. And I don't see it because I don't see it because I'm not passionate about it, you
Okay.
know. So definitely feel like, yeah, they apply pressure to me every day, so they do, and I'm thankful for them too. But yeah, I can't, that's where I'm at like now.
Okay. So 6 months ago, did you see yourself being here at this point?
No, honestly, no. I made my first podcast thinking like, I hope somebody listen to this. I hope people like this. But no, like if you would have, like, I literally thought, okay, I'll do a couple podcasts and then I'll go about my day and maybe I'll come back and do a season 2 whenever I feel like it. And that's not how it's been going at all. At all. Like I feel I have a decent ass fan base to consider where I started and what I thought it would be, like to the point where, like, you know, I'll be doing my Instagram lives and, you know, like my online presence is there.
Mhm.
But sometimes when I'm not dropping episodes, people will DM me and say, when you gonna drop another episode? Like, I love your lives and I love you, but when you gonna drop another episode? You know, so that's always exciting to hear, like, okay, y'all listening to me. So no, absolutely not. I couldn't have thought that I have people that not only listen but look forward to, like, when I drop an episode or when I go live. So no.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I've been doing this for about a year now, and this is actually a passion of mine. This was an
That's
idea
good.
I had 3 years ago, and it wasn't until last year that I actually, put some effort behind it. So
Wow.
my initial thought was, I don't think nobody want to hear me speak to nobody, but
Mm-hmm.
you know. It went from that to people commenting to people hitting me up and saying, hey man, I like your content. I would love to be a guest on your show. To now, I'm scheduling 3 to 4 interviews a week. Sometimes people cancel, sometimes they don't, and then
Yeah.
I'm like missing like family engagements because when I'm behind this mic, it don't feel like work. It just feel like I'm talking, and I enjoy a good conversation.
Yes, exactly. And that exactly right there. So, and that's why you guys get this unfiltered Kendra. And even though it's unfiltered, it's not filtered, but it's like there's a side of me that you guys don't get to see, because I don't know how to explain it. Like I want to say, like, first of all, not there's aside from, like, unless you're really close to me, you can't see other sides of me, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll be hoping through, like, certain topics and certain things that I cover on the show, you can learn more about me, because I'm a private person, but I'm a very open person at the same time. So there's parts of my life that I'm not going to share with you guys, but there's so much more of my life that I do share. And the my podcast is kind of built on me having a space where I can be unfiltered, you know, because when you go to work, you have to be unfiltered. If you're in a certain atmosphere, you know, if you go around people that you meet for the first time, you might be filtered. If you like, for example, you go on a date, you know, you're going to be a little more filtered. You're not going to show every single thing. You know, there's so many aspects in our life where we have to we have to kind of filter ourselves. And I like to just be able to come here and be like, okay, this is Kendra. You know, like, and then that's it, you know?
I mean, you're right. I mean, like, after listening to your episodes, I see I mean, I think that a lot of people get it misconstrued when it comes to you creating your platform. Like you got to follow some type of tradition. Like you put out there what you want to put out there because that's what you wanted to do. So taking strides with it and not trying to make something for somebody else. You're making
Yes.
it for yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's what's key, and that's what people gravitate to. But just like, is this girl turning a spoon in the coffee cup? Yes, she is. I like her.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Exactly.
So I know that you probably have a majority female base. As far as fans and everything, and people that support you. Listening to some of your stories about relationships, I'm assuming that that's something that I don't want to say weighs heavy on you, but it's something that you feel strongly about and try to give advice and game to everybody. So was that one of the things that you kind of decided to put out there when you started Coffee with Kendra?
Yeah, I kind of picked that up along the way, but I'm glad you mentioned that because I think everybody thinks that I have a majority based woman following, but I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I have a good like I have the last time I checked I was at 55% women, 45% men. I have a good split.
Mm-hmm.
And that was interesting for me to even find out because I didn't think so either. I didn't think that, guys will follow my page, but that don't mean they gonna listen to my podcast or support what I'm doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but they actually do. Like I have men that go out of their way to tell me how they felt about a certain topic that I covered on a podcast or a show. I have men that will send me like media, like something that I like, material that I might want to use on a podcast, or not even that. Sometimes they just send me stuff to get my opinion on it. So surprisingly enough, even to me, I have men and women that support Coffee with Kendra, like a good split. um so that's actually not the case, but since I just kind of like started my podcast with no rhyme or reason, like it just started, I think along the way when I started getting women reach out to me and share stories with me because I shared stories with them and they could relate to it, I started thinking, okay, well, my podcast is able, like I'm able to help women kind of provide clarity, or like just through like sharing my experiences in the dating world. That's when it started clicking to me that, okay, well, I actually can help women, and obviously I want to help. I feel like I can help more women than men because I'm a woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
So once I started getting feedback from women, I was like, okay, great. Like I love this, and it just inspired me to continue to share my stories and share my growth, on my podcast. So it kind of steered in that direction of me trying to help women. And I want to help the Black community altogether, but women are really my target because I really do feel like we set the bar for things, like for example, I'm sure you've seen several posts about how men are trash, and I'm always like, okay, well, even if they are trash, they're trash because we're allowing them to be trash. So when a man comes to you with trash behavior and you accept it, it's accepted. And then regardless of what happened to you guys, he moves on to the next woman and give her trash behavior. And when she accepts it, he continues to give trash behavior. Okay? So when we stop accepting the bare minimum or trash behavior, we'll stop getting it. So I know you listen to me, so I know this is not new to you, but
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty much my angle, is that we're not going to point the finger at men. I'm point the finger back at us. Men do what we allow them to do, and that's pretty much be my focus. So I'm not here to hear the men are trash movement, because ultimately, for lack of a better word, you trash because you didn't value yourself enough to set standards for him not to treat you with trash behavior. So yeah, that came about. Like my podcast is all growth, so that I grew into that message as a podcaster. So I can't sit here and lie and say, yeah, I'm gonna start a podcast to help women. Like I didn't think that that was gonna happen, but here we are.
You heard her. So what's dope about your platform is that um, a lot of men will probably, just from me being a male, when you have, female friends or females in your life, sometimes they try to call to you and protect you. But when you don't know this person and they give you the uncut truth, they giving you game. So I think that's what they're hearing and they appreciating that. And that's why they, what I'm saying, showing love. Now it's some people that just, listen to, try to better themselves. And there's other people that's listening so they can make changes for the people around them, So
Mm,
it's always important just to pay attention and get the bare facts. I'm not saying that you need to, follow everyone's key word, but
mm-hmm,
listen to what they saying, pay attention, and then make your own decision. You,
mm-hmm. Absolutely. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I don't think I necessarily look at that way, but that's an excellent way to look at what I'm doing. And like I said, it is that when women are either in my DMs or like in the comment section while I'm talking, telling me, yeah, like this happened to me, and like, or what do you think about this? Should I do this? And then it's like, okay, cool. So you guys, and then like you said, a lot, I mean, a lot of the times I do feel like I'm saying things that other women are not saying to each other. For like you said, the lack of I mean, that coddling of the women, like since we're women, we gotta coddle each other, and like I'm just really not here for it. So a lot of the times when somebody's saying something, even though like I used to, before I started podcasting, I used to feel like, damn, am I the only person that feels this way? But
know.
since I started podcasting, I noticed I'm not the only person that feels this way, but I might be one of the few that actually will speak upon it and will call us out. Like I'm calling the girls out. And I think that it's like you said, that's something more likely to feel like, okay, well, she don't know me, she don't have nothing against me, she spoke from her own experience, so this is a game, this is not, and then I do have a small portion of women who feel like I attack women, so
Hey,
yeah.
when you bitter and you don't know how to I guess accept the truth or accept reality, that's what you do. Like that's the really one of the biggest forms of ignorance. You don't know something, so you just going to respond irrationally or just
Mhm.
attack the person because you didn't even look within. You know what I'm saying? Like if you had 40 something relationships in the past 10 years, first of all, those wasn't relationships. That's just my personal opinion. Second
Mhm.
of all, you are the most common denominator, no matter what happened in the end, outside of, like
Yep.
physical abuse or something like that. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
love yourself first before you decide to get with somebody, because if you can't love
Mhm.
yourself, how you going to give somebody else love?
Yes.
Man.
Agree.
So, listening to your dating past and everything like that, I'm assuming you cooling on dating for now, especially with the way things are going. This, as far as like the way women treat men and vice versa, like it seems like disrespect or treating somebody like they're not a person, like they're a tool or something is, a normal, especially with like the younger generation.
That's an interesting concept for me, because I do hear this all the time. But am I cool on dating? I'm not currently dating at the moment. But I understand, like I have heard people say that, since the dating pool is so fucked up right now, and I'm not even about to sit here and lie, it is fucked up right now.
Mm.
And that's one of my hopes with my platform, is that I can kind of like bridge the gap between us so that we can start, having better relationships and better dating experiences. But I believe whether the dating market is trash or not, if your ultimate goal is to be married or not, even if you don't value marriage, but if your ultimate goal is to have companionship, I think even if the dating pool is not up to par, it's still necessary for you to be doing it. So like, I don't believe that any person should ever give up or take breaks from dating, unless you have some like type of trauma and you need to do some therapy for something. I understand that. But if my goal is to ultimately be married, I need to date regardless of if I like it or not. Because when you just like, we can't be silly enough to think that our spouse is just gonna knock at the door and be like, hey, here I am, Mr. Right, you ready to get married or what? That's not gonna happen. So whether we like it or not, we have to do it. And I use the example of like going to school, right? If you want to be a doctor, right? School may not be fun, but that's the necessary steps you need to take to get your degree and become a doctor, right? Same thing applies when it comes to dating. And I think people don't view it that way, because it's so hard and it's this and it's that. And, men are trash. Girls are using me for meals. This person is doing that. All girls want is money. All boys want is ass. Like, we have all this stuff floating around, but it's like you have to deal with it, is what I'm saying. So my advice is to, if you want to be married or you want a significant other, you got to do the work. And dating is part of work, right? It's like, I don't know what Disney character this is, but you might have to kiss 5 frogs before you get a prince. They not all gonna be princes, but it's necessary to get what we want.
You're absolutely right. I think that people don't know how to filter when it comes to dating and recognizing those flags that should be a red or green. So I think that if people knew how to, like, understand people and recognize them through their conversation, because the person will show you who they are. Only I do is watch them carefully. Like, even if you're dating, let's say you was, started dating and it's been 90 days. Eventually, if they've been hiding something, it'll kind of bleed out. So you got to pay attention to that. But a lot of people don't. They go off that feeling, but feelings change.
Man, yeah, exactly. And so it's hard, because I think we have are a lot of women who are just, kind of tired of like meeting guys that are not worth anything to them. And then you have the women that are so thirsty, they take the first dude that, gives them any type of time or like presents any type of uh attention to them. And then that's why we find so many people now in situationships, which I strongly advocate against. That. But and then not only that, then you have people who are constantly looking for red flags, and then they are dismissing or ignoring all the green flags. And it's like, we got to we have to kind of like come to a better, I think a lot of people, they have bad pickers. And when I say picker, I mean like when you pick women, even if it's just to go on a date with, you're doing a bad job picking them in the first place, which is going to lead to a bad date. Same thing with women. I wish I could have like a filter program for y'all, because I think I'm pretty decent at filtering out men especially, but I probably could filter out some bitches or two. I'm just saying, if y'all if y'all need some help, feel free to slide in my DM like, hey Kendra, what you think of this person? Send me their profile and whatever, let me look at them. I think I'm decent at it. Now, like I said, I can't say like I'm the best, but I think my picker is pretty decent. And I can pretty much look. Even my sister, like, she even admits later on, but every time she bring a dude, I'll be like, he this, and this. And she be like, Kendra, he don't say that. that. And then months later, she'd be like, "You right. This is exactly what you was so right about him." And I'm like, "I know, you know." So yeah, and I hope to like I hope my platform helps with that, and not just my platform, but my platform that I share with Grown Man Logic. I think that a lot of those conversations are kind of geared towards that. Like we need to just do a better job overall picking and not only picking, but like honestly, I say this on Grown Men Logic all the time, but if women would start closing their legs a little more, they'll be able to pick better, because it's hard to pick when it's a dick inside you, you know? Because then don't let it be a good one. Then it's hard to pick. So that's why I be rallying against that. It's not like you can't never sleep with the dude, but the thing is, we're giving it up too quickly, and the man he don't have to work anymore. Men don't even have to lie anymore. It's too easy for them. Therefore, yeah, you gonna end up with a trash man, because he doesn't value. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, this was cool, that's great, but what else? I'll take my time with you, because I can. You know what you know, men are physical.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, once you give it up, there's nothing for him to look forward to. And honestly, I know people don't necessarily agree with this, but I do feel like men are natural hunters, and they like to work for what they get to feel like men. And when a man doesn't have to work towards you, I I think the value that he has for you, it gets lowered. So like I said, I always bring it back to the women, because I feel like it's here because we've allowed it to be here.
Nah. Well, I'm looking at Kendra, but I see the essence of Kevin Samuels right now. Just a little bit, you know. and, and he's a very factual person. His delivery is just so fucked up, you know. And I think that people get, I don't say experts, people with wealth of knowledge, they get them confused, and they put them on a pedestal instead of realizing, they're human just like you and me, but through their experiences and through their education and everything. These are some things that he pick up that everyday people, pass by or don't even know or don't even pay attention to. So, take it for what it is, but don't take everything to heart. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and let me just take up for Uncle Kevin real quick, because you already know. But the thing is that one, I would go to say, and I know women are gonna agree, but I honestly think a lot of women like his delivery, because one, they keep coming back for more. Secondly, I personally feel like his delivery is direct and assertive, and I find that as a huge turn on as a woman. So I know you have heard and seen these either TikTok videos or whatever of women talking about how men are too nice.
Hmm.
And they don't mean that the man is a pushover. What they actually mean a lot of the time is that he not assertive. So when you're not assertive, we do look at you as too nice. And that's what Kevin is. He's assertive. Nobody gonna say, oh, Kevin was too nice. He too nice, so I don't like him. Nobody's gonna say that. So, I mean, and then that goes back to how women give mixed signals to men, because then we say we want you to be sensitive and be in touch with your emotional side. And then you got Kevin that's like, boom, boom, boom. Then it's like, oh, no, he's too harsh with his delivery. Like, no, he's a man. That's how men are supposed to speak. And honestly, I'm sure we got some bosses that talk to us like that too, but we deal with that shit so we can get paid on Friday. But at the end of the day, he has a message, and the message obviously makes sense, or he wouldn't be at 1 million subscribers right now.
Hmm.
So, and then to kind of bring that back to full circle, just in general, we are starting a generation of pussies in the first place. So people can't take directness. They can't take a person being just straight blunt. You always gotta, oh, let me sugarcoat this before I say it. Let me say this, and we're not being honest with each other. Every time somebody delivers us some honesty in a straight factual manner, oh, that person is that delivery is bad. Like, no, delivery is fucking what it is. Did he tell you the truth, or did he tell you a lie? You rather, what is that? Somebody said this yesterday and I cannot think of what it is. I'd rather you hit me with the truth than slap me with a lie.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
I
You got
think
that
that's
right.
I think that's how it goes. Something along the lines, but y'all feel me here. You know what I'm saying? So what my point is, y'all get over it. His approach. What I would challenge any woman that will say she wouldn't like her man to speak to her. Now I'm not talking about the weight down. I'm not talking about what he be calling them Big Shirley and stuff. I'm just talking about the tone. Well, the Kevin Samuel's tone, I'm sure it gets a lot of bitches wet. I challenge that.
Yeah, it's not the tone, it's the phrases that he uses. So, that's what,
You
you
know
know.
what? And it's not even the phrases that he uses. What he's saying is truthful to those women. So the women, when he tells them that they're overweight, that hurts because society wants women to believe that they're thick and their body is desirable, and men have to take that. And it's not the truth. You are overweight and you are unhealthy. Those are facts.
Mm.
So, you know, I mean, he pokes. I mean, you have to like really follow like a lot of his material, but he does poke fun of it in a way. But I think he pokes fun of it to lighten the mood, so to take away from a lot of the seriousness that he, you know, is given in the show. Okay,
Yeah.
but now I'll leave Kevin Samuels alone.
It's just a stern demeanor that not everyone's accustomed to. Like you said, this generation is, coming out soft compared to the previous and the previous one before that. Of course, things have changed, but it's certain sturdiness that everyone needs to, keep things going. You can't keep going the same direction when it comes to, like certain political issues and civil unrest. But when it comes to, building society and being firm and getting things done, these are the things you need. Unlike this laid back internet only, sitting in the house instead of going outside playing and riding bikes.
Mm-hmm.
This generation that's we're currently in now,
Mm-hmm.
outside of, pandemic and stuff, there was plenty of opportunities to go outside, but that's not the case. So don't let that
Mm-hmm.
be an excuse. You could, get a kickball or something going in your basement or something. I don't know, something in the hallway.
True. True.
So I want you to do me a favor. I want you to give me one of your stories about the red flag things that you didn't see, you personally. Like, because you say you're a good picker, so I'm pretty sure it was a time when you didn't pick a well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's how I became a decent picker. So okay, I could say, let me see. I can use my last relationship as an example.
Hmm.
There's some things, so like there's certain things we're not willing to budge with as a person, right?
Hmm.
So, and I talked about this a few days ago on my show about like settling, and I don't want to say I settled with this man, but I guess I'm just being nice because I think I did settle with him, but there was some things that I was not cool with when we met, and some of the things that I was cool with. Let me not speak in code. Let me be frank, right? When I met him, he had a woman best friend. That's
Hmm.
already I don't like that. Um, he not only did he have a woman best friend, but he had a lot of women friends, and I didn't like that. Um, and I know like our new generation of people feel like, oh, you can have friends of the opposite sex. You sure can. Just not with me. You can't. Okay. Um, so there was that. Um, he was. I guess I didn't see at the time that our lifestyles and goals would be an issue, but to him that it was. So he was the type of guy that was like, he would like, like to travel and go on trips and uh he wasn't very serious about his goals when we met, and I pretty much kind of overlooked all of those things. The only thing that I didn't overlook was the fact that he had a girl best friend, because originally when we met and he told me he had a girl best friend, I didn't care because I was dating other people. So I didn't know that I was going to settle with him. So I was like, okay, I told him, I didn't even make no issue of it. He told me he had a girl best friend. I was like, okay, bet, I don't care. We went on a couple days. It was that. I didn't know he was that into me. So when he came and was like, oh, I want you to be my girlfriend, I was like, no, because you have a girl best friend. And he was like, well, I had already told you that. I'm like, yeah, but I didn't know you was into me like that. So I didn't care. And I didn't tell him, but at the time I didn't know I was into him like that, because I guess honestly I wasn't that into him. So I was like, I didn't feel an issue. I didn't feel the need to come and have a conversation about how I don't like the fact that he has a girl best friend. Anyways, he wants to be in a relationship with me, and I'm like, no, because what I didn't do and what I don't do is I don't give you an ultimatum. You're a grown man. I'm not gonna ever say get rid of your best friend to be with me. I didn't say that. What I said was, you got a girl best friend. I don't like it. This won't work. Bye. And so he defended himself. I think we had like a 2-day conversation because he just insisted on defending himself and his best friend, which I did not care to hear any of it. Didn't make nothing that he said would have changed my mind about that. And I guess I should elaborate on why I don't like girl best friends. And I just feel like I want to be a wife. And I do believe that your wife and your girlfriend need to be your best friend.
Mm-hmm.
So if you already have a girl best friend, I'm now competing with her. And I shouldn't have to compete with anybody to become your best friend slash eventually your wife. So to me, and I asked him, just like I'll ask any other dude, why are you not married to your woman best friend? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you not married to her? And I don't know what his excuse was. I mean, and his excuse actually was that it just never happened. So that was even worse. So I'm like, well, then if the opportunity presented itself, you would be with her, is what I'm thinking in my head. And then not only that, but it's like, I don't like the ideal of my dude like hanging out with a woman without me. You know what I'm saying? Even though I trust him as my man, I don't know her. Even if I meet her and hang out with a couple times, I don't know what her interest level is in you. I don't know her real intentions towards you. I don't want you coming to tell her things that's going on in our relationship. And I don't trust her to steer you in the right direction. All of those things cross my mind. And then I'm a woman. I know how bitches think. I've been in the presence and dealt with plenty of women who will play that friend role to the end of no time until you fall into their lap, and now y'all together and y'all married. So it's a slippery slope that I don't fuck with. So anyways, we stopped talking after I told him no. And he hits me up like a month later and is like, you know what, I really kind of like slept on what how your decisions about me having a best friend, blah blah blah. And can we talk? And so we talk, we go to lunch and talk, and he's like, I am willing to like put my friend on the back burner and like kind of chill. Like, you telling me like, I don't really hang with these girls that much. And, I'll put her on the back burner because I really want to be with you, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, I get with him. So that's my first red flag, right? At least for me.
Mm-hmm.
I get with him, and later on in the relationship, he doing stuff like hanging out with them. They coming over his house. He going out to like meet them and meet her in Vegas to celebrate her birthday without me, didn't invite me. He is it was a whole thing. But the girl best friends and the girlfriends really made an issue for me. And what he would do, which was what a lot of people would do in this position, is try to turn it around on you and say you're insecure. So now I'm being accused of being insecure because you are hanging with girls, you know, it was a lot. He would hang out with them, and since he would use the fact that I was a homebody against me and say, oh, well, you don't like going out anyway, but he never even invited me to go out with them. So, he would blame it like I'm hanging with them because you don't want to hang out or whatever. there was that, and then there was the fact that he wanted to um he felt like the fact that I wanted to live, I was okay with living a simple life and I didn't need to go on trips all the time and blah blah blah. He felt like we weren't on the same page. But to go back to your question of the red flag, I think the biggest red flag that for me, and I'm not saying that a girl best friend is a red flag for every other woman, but for me it is, since I decided to, go against my better judgment and date him anyway, it ended up, I'm not gonna say it was the cause of our relationship ending, but it was definitely something that caused friction throughout the length of our relationship. And then the fact that I actually did give him a chance, even though knowing that I didn't like the fact that he had a best friend, now I'm in a place where I know what works for me and what doesn't. And so that's something that I'm not okay with. If a man comes saying I got a girl best friend, then Kendra ain't for you. That's just what it is. I'm not going to fight you. I'm not going to, try to convince you of otherwise. You just ain't the one. I know now that I need somebody that's on the same wavelength with me. I don't know when we got to this place, but I mean, I think when my parents was growing up, your best friend should have been your wife. But now we at a place where it's just blurred lines, like you just hanging out with bitches. Some of these your friends. Fuck all that. I'm old fashioned. Why don't dudes hang with dudes? Like here and there, you gonna have like a woman associate, a woman friend, but I don't think you just have a woman friend. Like I'm gonna be honest, I don't have any guy friends, and if I had a guy friend and you took him off to the side and you was like, hey, I know Kendra, your friend or whatever, but if she lets you fuck, would you fuck? And he'd be like, yeah, hell yeah, I'll fuck her. Then you not my friend. If you ever think I'm fuckable, you can't be my friend. And I say the same thing for a guy. Like guys don't approach women to be friends. So I always question how you guys became friends in the first place. Like did y'all date previously? Maybe you went to school together. I'm just throwing stuff out there, but that's just how I move. So I guess like that's a red flag that I am taking probably to the grave with me. So if you have a woman best friend, yeah, I learned the hard way that don't work for Kendra, and if it worked for y'all, keep doing it. Keep doing it, but it don't work for me. So that's one of my red flag stories, the latest one.
It sounded like once you got together, he tried to like manipulate you a little bit because he tried to, even though he said that he put that on the back burner, he still went back. He fell into that old habit, so he was waiting till it. I guess the situation was comfortable enough to start doing that, and then he tried to use like the way you carry yourself against you, which is stupid. You can't pull that over somebody who got common sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Absolutely. And I said that because I know a lot of people like it's a new thing, and I think women do it too. Women will tell a man he insecure if he don't want her hanging out with a guy best friend. Like, when did that become an insecurity? That used to be the norm. Like you don't just tell you, yeah, babe, I'm about to go hang out with such and such a dude. Like, what you mean you hanging out with a dude by yourself? Like y'all going anywhere together. I mean, but like I said, it's cool. Y'all do you. That don't work for me. That's all.
Yeah, in my youth, I guess I was a little bit too trusting and uh had a what you would call a simp relationship to a certain extent. But basically, I was, talking to this young lady, and she had a male cousin that she used to hang out with, smoke or whatever, right? So, I'm the type of person that, if you messed up or you down, I look out for you. You know what I'm saying? She had, lost her job, what I'm saying, made sure she didn't get evicted, had furniture in her house and stuff like that. And then I end up running into like one of her friends at a bar just randomly. And
The guy friend or a girlfriend?
no, it was a female friend of hers.
Okay.
So I couldn't get in contact with the young lady, and I guess she had too much to drink, and she let it slip. Oh, she's with such and such, and I was like, That's random. She only don't hang out with him unless it's like a family function or whatever, right? She was like she said she always go back to her baby father. I'm like, hmm, I thought you baby father was out your life and all this other stuff, right? So for me, you may not notice about me, but I'm petty. And you know, in my youth, I was a savage.
Mhm.
So I didn't call her phone. I didn't blow her up. I didn't say it was over. I took everything out of her house that I bought. I took all the knobs off her drawers. I took all the shelves out of her refrigerator and all of her left shoes. And I threw it all in the trash. And I left. You're not gonna disrespect me like that. You're not gonna play me. And it's dudes out here that don't know how to you know, I guess hold their anger in or respond to stuff like that. So that was my choice. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to do that. And like I said, I was in my 20s. So, it was more like I was enacting my own karma because, I would have messed around and saw her years down the life and then, everything would have been good. Like, nah, this is going to be a life lesson. You can't just be playing with people that,
Mhm.
got your best interest in mind and think that it's cool. So, it's red flags like that I pay attention to. And then 9 times out of 10, if a person can't hold a conversation with you, and that's just, from my standards, then I'm not going to date you anyway. So you can figure out a lot by talking to a person. But if they need to be in a phone or they need to have a drink or they need to smoke or whatever, like, if that's what you want, that's what you want. But for me, that's addictive personality. You know what I'm saying? I'm not supporting that.
And see, that's the important right there is that you have your standard, right? So if you're gonna go out with me, you're not going to be on your phone. You're not going to like you're gonna be able to have a conversation with me. And that's what contributes to the dating market being what it is that we have our standards, but we don't stand in them. Like this is I'm standing in this shit. You got a girl best friend? Okay, bye. You need to be on your phone while we're out. Okay, bye. That's just what it is. Have your standards. Because when you don't, that's when we start dating people that are not up to par, and we keep allowing people to be up to par. Like we need more men to like say that shit too. Like you on a date with me, you on a date with me. Put your phone down. That's respect. But people don't do that. They'll allow all that stuff and then, end up in a situationship and, and they be in situationships for the longest too. Like, listen, if you see me 4 times in, no, if you see me 6 times in a month, you either gonna decide on that day 31 if you want to be in a relationship with me or you just gonna stop seeing me and I'll make the decision for you. I don't never come with an ultimatum. But you just gonna I'll just let you know, look, I don't know where this is headed, so I'm just gonna peace out on you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You are you the type of person that like do the breakup text or you just like ghost them?
I don't ghost. I strongly advocate against not ghosting. I have conversation with you even if I was dating you and decide to date somebody else. And now I don't want to date you no more. I'll tell you. I may not necessarily need to tell you over phone or in person, but I'll at least send you that text like, hey, you pretty cool, but I met somebody else that I really wanted to date. So sorry, hope I wish you the best. Bye bye. Like I'm gonna offer that because even though it doesn't necessarily work out that way, I always want somebody to treat me the way that I treat them. So I give what I want back. Even though that don't always work, I
Mm.
do give what it is that I want back.
Yeah. I mean, not everybody is, I guess, honorable in that fashion. So you gotta consider that you're muted.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying that not everybody is honorable in that fashion. They don't know how to. I guess there should be like a book or something on how to end a relationship or break up with people and be quite honest. I when I had Carla on the show, I told her the story about the girl who drugged me and tried to follow me home, but instead of me, don't. Yeah. So when my book comes out, you'll get all these stories in full detail.
Okay. I'm happy to hear you.
But instead of me just ghosting her, which was my initial response, I had a conversation with her. It was the first time I had a conversation with a girl at that time of my life, and said, look, this is why this is not working out. And she was trying to convince me that we was meant for each other, or she says that she never been treated like that by anybody. And I was like, look, you got to be okay with being by yourself outside of being in a relationship, because if you're not okay with yourself, how could you, I'm saying, be with somebody else? And I said, it's not going to work. Like, if we was to be together, it would be a lie. So, it can't happen. So I think that, men and women need to do that. They can't just treat people like they nothing, because that's how you end up with scorn people that cheat on their significant others and have fallouts, and just create a bunch of drama or clickbait that people feed
Yeah.
off of.
Yeah, and shout out to Eric at the Uncomfortable Conversation, because that's exactly what it is. We, once again, I said we're all pussies. We scared to have uncomfortable conversations. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna tell you whether you like it or not. And one of my one story that I told on my podcast, that actually, like, before I was even a podcast, that kind of like, I think, sparked the interest of podcasters to invite me on, was it was a story that I gave about how a guy called me a bitch because I told him I wasn't interested in him. Like, I legit told him, look, I don't, I told him, like, hey, you know what? I think you're great. I just don't think we're a good fit for each other. I don't. I put it in the nicest way possible. And he was like, bitch, you didn't even give us a chance. So, there's right there, and that's one of the reasons why people probably don't want to have the uncomfortable conversation. But it was via text, and I don't have a problem having that conversation. Like, we have to, like, I think it's unfair to leave somebody on, like, like, I thought everything was fine, and then he just stopped texting me, or I thought everything was good, and then she stopped responding to my text. Like, I think that's fucked up. The only way that I think that's cool is if you think that person is going to handle this bad and start, if you have any inkling that that person is going to get wild or maybe do something to you, that's the only time that I support you ghosting somebody. Otherwise, don't ghost nobody. And then on top of that, there's levels to ghosting. Like, I feel like sometimes women be feeling like they get ghosted on a dating app. I don't consider that ghosting. If you don't have my number, you haven't even made it off the app, you ain't ghosted me, because we ain't established nothing. Like, just because we having a conversation for 2 days and you don't talk to me on Thursday, cool, then maybe you ain't that interested. But I don't necessarily consider that ghosting. But most women that I've talked to consider that ghosting. Because at that point, what does he owe you? You're on a dating app. What are you supposed to say? I'm done talking to you. I didn't like the conversation. I'm gonna talk to somebody else.
So, do you? I'm pretty sure you've used the dating app before. Do you? Have you
Mhm.
had any luck with it, or did you prefer to meet somebody in person?
Man, I would love to meet somebody in person, but I can't. The last time I met a man in person, I didn't like him. But I met a couple guys. I met a couple guys at the gym. Um, but I don't have a preference, actually. I don't mind it at all. I think that um I can't say I prefer to get approached in person, but I don't mind, and I don't mind using a dating app either. I know people have this thing where they think dating apps are like where all the trash people are. You're not gonna meet a good person, but I'm on there and I think I'm a good bitch. So if I'm on there and you can meet me on there, that's how I looked at it. I always looked at it like, well, if I'm on there and I know I'm a decent person, it got to be a guy on there that's a decent person too, right?
Hmm.
And I think that men have stopped approaching women the way that they used to. And it's not all due to like confidence. I think obviously it's easier to approach a woman online, but I think women don't send out inviting signals anymore. And then you got the Me Too movement and you got all this kind of stuff. It makes it difficult for a man to actually want to approach a woman in person anymore. So that leads to, online dating. And I mean, it is 2021. I mean, what are you not doing online? Like you can literally buy a car online, like there's nothing that you can't do online. So yeah, I don't feel like I have a preference. We just have to do a better job at choosing the person that we even go out with the first time.
Yeah, I'm tired of companies taking dating apps to the next level. Like the last time I was on POF, they added
First of
like
all, wait a minute. I gotta stop you right there. POF, guys, listen to me clearly. That is not a dating site. I know what they advertise it at, but you see me talking like I advocate for dating apps, but POF, no, 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 absolutely not. No, 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 no. Okay. All right, but I'll let you finish. I'm sorry. I had to let y'all know. PSA.
okay, so its original purpose could be used for dating, but
Mm-hmm.
it became the new Backpage when Backpage shut down, in a lot of ways. Even
Mm,
Offer Up, but that's something totally different. But
yeah.
the last time I was on it, they added like a dating feature where you could, click on somebody who's doing like a live video and talk and add the next person. And then they also had like a live streaming feature. So they not even just messaging and dating no more. Like they like streaming, playing video games, or smoking, or drinking, or having a conversation. I'm like, this is why people are so messed up, because you get on a dating app, and it's people ironing clothes or just talking about their day, and I'm just like, no, I'm not going to buy a star. I'm not going to do none of this. It's ridiculous. And messing around with POF, I got catfish like more than 3 times.
I bet you did. It's POF. It's POF.
so
Uh,
so what apps do you suggest then for the people who are single and looking to meet somebody online?
well, I'm so glad you asked that. Well, I suggest Hinged, and I know that like I'm just gonna go off my experiences, but I hear different reviews from different people in different states, right? But I think Hinged is a good app. I think Black, if you're Black, I don't know why white people hop their white ass on there looking for Black people to date. That's not fair. This is not a mixed dating app. But I think Black, if you're Black, that's a good, and it's not called Black. It's actually BLK.
Hmm.
The only reason why I like that app is because it's a lot of Black men on that app, and the rest of the apps, they are good mix, especially where you are. Like my location, it shows me a ton of white men no matter what app I use, and I don't have a problem with white men. My kids is white, but I don't. I want a selection. I need to see my Black men on there too. So I really like that app. Um, Bumble is cool. Uh Bumble is cool because the woman is supposed to like make the first move. Like the woman is supposed to like use like she has like 24 hours to like actually say something to you.
Hmm.
So I mean it's kind of cool by taking that pressure off of the man. And Bumble and Hinge, they actually have a video feature where you can actually video chat the person before you exchange numbers with the person, which I think is an excellent feature. So not only that, or like even to go out with them, but like see if the person is who they say they are, or see if the pictures align up. Like I had a guy ask me to like, can he see my full body? And first I was like, is he trying to be a creep? But then I was like, well, it's fair. He just wants to see, maybe I don't have a good, like maybe those pictures I have up is old, even though I do it because I do a good job of like showing like a full body and face shots because women be overweight and whatever. So the first time I was like, homie, but then I was like, nah, it's cool. Like, you can see my whole body. This is who I am. I think that's important. And it gives you, it helps you like with your picker, right?
Hmm.
And Hinge even has when you do a Hinge video chat, they actually have like little questions you guys could do. Like, so if you don't like know what to talk about, there's like little questions that ask you like to kind of like spark conversations. I think that's pretty cool. Tinder is low key a hookup app to me. Like that's a hit and miss. But see, regardless of what app you use, aside from POF, the object of the game is actually to expect nothing. Like even in real life, like you when you just because you went out with that person, there should always be, and I think I'm talking more to women than men, but there should not be any expectations that you're going to like the person, that you guys are going to date, that you guys are going to be boyfriend and girlfriend. Like you have to literally date with no expectations. I think part of the problem is that women are dating with these expectations that you could be something, and when you prove them wrong, then it's like, okay, now all the dating pool, is trash or whatever. So those are the apps that I recommend. And I also highly recommend doing a video feature, the video chat if you can. Even if the app doesn't have that and you feel comfortable enough to exchange numbers. Um, I always do a video chat before we go out and meet in person. Like it's a good way to like see if the vibe is there, see if the person look like they pictures, so on and so forth. And just don't have any expectations. When you have expectations, you can be disappointed. When you have none and you have no expectation and you go on a date and he's great, then you're like, oh, that was cool. All right, cool. Let's see what happens.
Hey, that's I think if people actually thought like you, or I should say, if females thought like you, then a lot of stuff wouldn't happen. Now, I'm not saying that you have all the answers. I'm not saying I have all the answers, but
Of course not.
you gotta really put some thought and effort behind these things, especially when it comes to choosing a mate and
Mm-hmm.
respecting yourself, and at the same time you got to remember that nothing's guaranteed in life. So dating's a hit or miss. Sometimes it works,
Exactly.
sometimes it don't. But don't put all your eggs in one basket. Like, oh, he remembered my name. Let's get married. Like that. That's not life.
Yeah, exactly. Let's bust it wide open now. He remembered I like turkey. Like, yeah, no. That's not enough.
Man, oh man, oh man. Uh, I wish I could continue this conversation, but I do got some things to take care of. Kendra, we got to do this again because I thoroughly enjoyed our conversation, and I'm pretty sure everyone that's going to be listening will too. So let's set this up again in the future.
Yes, I would love to. I had a great time. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you was coming on the show regardless. When the first time we met, when I hopped on your live, I was like, "Hey, I gotta have her on the show. She's funny." But not only are you funny, but you're a very bright person and insightful, and I regardless if you continue coffee with Kendra, I still follow you and see everything you got going on.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I really do.
No problem, no problem. So why don't you let the people know anything you got coming up or anything you want to let them know?
So you guys can catch me on Instagram at Coffee with Kendra. Everything spelled correctly. No underscores. That's pretty much where I'm the most active. I have been able to log into my Twitter recently, and I will be reckless on there. I'll tweet some random ass reckless shit. Um, so yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Coffee W Kendra, because they wouldn't. I guess it was too long, so I couldn't have Coffee with Kendra. So it's Coffee W with Kendra. I am like, one of my goals is to up my YouTube game.
Mm-hmm.
So you can search me at Coffee with Kendra on YouTube. My goal is to put more content on there, so that hopefully is coming soon. Check out my live uh morning/afternoon talk show that I just started, Coffee with Kendra. Um, they're actually coffee dates. So I'll bring one person on and we have like a coffee date. We'll like talk about something or play a game and have coffee. And like I said, my podcast is inconsistent, so I won't tell you when I'll drop them because that will be a lie. But you can always check me out and subscribe. That way you're up to date when they come out. They already, they'll download on Spotify or Apple Podcast, or I'm everywhere. Everywhere a podcast can be, I'm there. So just search me.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, I seen you. I'm already subscribed to your YouTube channel. I'm also
Thank you.
subscribed to all Growland Logic, following on Twitter and everything like
Thank
that.
you.
So I'm going to support and make sure people find your YouTube channel, get you more subscribers. So you might get inspired to do something else, switch it up. You know what I'm saying? You might come up with like a game show that you do, on a weekly basis. Like a dating game, like Kendra's dating game, something like that.
I would love that. I'm actually not actually, but somebody else was kind of like planting the seeds for me to do something similar to that. So that might be in the works. We don't know.
Okay. What's up with the merch?
Oh, y'all do not let me live. None of y'all do not let me live. See, and then that goes back to me saying how I'm not passionate about it. So the way I move be like, but okay. So I'm not going to sit here and lie and set up a date, but I will say that I am working towards setting up a website to drop merch very soon. Hopefully by the time I'm done dropping, let's say in the next month, I'll have a website and merch. And it's, I'm telling y'all right now, y'all better buy my shit, because the way that y'all harass me, I'm serious. The way that y'all harass me about dropping my merch, my shit better be sold out on day one. No, I'm just kidding. I really appreciate y'all for being on my ass the way that you are, because it shows that, y'all really fuck with me like that, because if you don't fuck with nobody, you're not about to go out your way to say, where's your merch for fun? And you're not the only person. You're not the only podcaster. You're not the only person that listens to Coffee with Kendra. Like people are really like, girl, drop your merch. Like I've had people say, look, I supported this podcaster, but I really fuck with you. Where is your merch? So I'm not mad. It's so much love. Thank you so much. Give me about a month. Check with me in about a month and see where that merch is, how that merch is going.
Oh, no pressure. Take your time. I just want you to remember this conversation, and so when I do bring it up, it's not like, oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But you're not the type of person that's
no. You have my permission. Hold me accountable.
Okay. I got you. Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, the Landover Legend, aka Big T, and this has been a wonderful conversation with Kendra on the I Can't Make This Up podcast. I hope you enjoyed it like I did. And if you're listening right now, you can find me everywhere that podcasts are available. You can also find me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And I forgot to mention this in the beginning, so I'm going to mention it at the end. If you're listening to this show, or if you watch me on YouTube, you better hit that damn like button or that comment why you didn't like it or unlike it, and follow and subscribe. And please support my guests. Please follow them as well. And when they merch come out, you make sure you buy it and you tell them Big T sent you. Or you slide in her DM and ask her where merch at so she can hurry up.
Y'all, feel free to hold me accountable. I need that.
Yeah. So, like I said, no pressure. It's just consistency. Yes. That's all it is. But I appreciate you guys for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you are also watching at the same time. So until next time, peace.
I can't make this up. Being the wingman got me punched in the face by this crazy chick. I can't make this up. Gave this cool old man a ride home. Now I'm harboring the fugitive. I can't make this up. Pinned between the fat chick and the speaker. Now my shirt smell like her backside. I can't make this up. It's all bad cause my man about to get stabbed in his hand over french fries. Bet.
I'ma let T tell you that story one day, man. It's a good one.
And I'ma let the Landover legend do the rest. I'm out.